Hello and welcome to Wingspan Air and Space News. Here are the main stories. In London, British Airways has launched a major campaign to ensure none of its customers will be grounded by the Millennium Bug at the end of next year. Imogen Sparks reports.
At a cost of around $160 million, BA's campaign promises to be one of the most stringent and expensive of any in the worldwide airline industries. The carrier says this sort of huge effort is essential to make sure passengers don't have any fears of flying when this century turns into the next. In fact, flying will be one of the safest things to do anywhere when the clock turns to midnight on the last day of next year. All major airlines have already checked out virtually all computers that are directly related to safety-critical equipment. But BA says it's possible many customers of other airlines around the world are most likely to be affected while they're on the ground. In some places, airport controllers, baggage systems and freight handling equipment could all be prone to delays caused by the Millennium Bug. The airline warns that air traffic control authorities in less developed parts of the world need to take early measures to upgrade their computers. If they don't, says the British carrier, flight plans and airport systems could all go wrong, keeping aircraft on the ground and causing big delays. BA admits it's spending more than most other big airlines on making sure the year 2000 problem doesn't hit its operations. The measures will cost the airline about 20% of its entire profits this year, but BA says it'll be money well spent. Imogen Sparks, Wingspan Air and Space News.
Just 20 years ago this week, naval planners decided to send a promising new idea away to sea for the first time, and it proved to be such a good idea that it was soon being copied by other navies around the world. In today's highly complex aviation world, the ski jump's one of those inventions that just sounds too simple to work. The idea was developed by a British naval officer, and it was aimed at giving the navalised version of the Harrier combat aircraft a safer takeoff, particularly when it's heavy with weapons and fuel. And exactly 20 years ago, after trials on a land-based ramp at Britain's Fleet Air Arm headquarters, the order was given to fit a ski jump to the bows of one of Britain's small carriers, HMS Hermes. The experiment worked exceptionally well. Before long, carrier builders from Russia to Spain were modifying their designs to include similar ramps for their own short takeoff vertical landing aircraft. And today, the ski jump takeoff is standard practice for many modern naval air arms. It gives the aircraft a useful pitch up as it leaves the deck, giving the pilot more time and more height as he makes the transition from thrust-borne to wing-borne flight. It's simple, elegant and effective. In Europe, air and space specialist Daimler-Benz has issued a high-flying performance report. It's more than doubled its profits in the first half of this year, and forecasts indicate it's set to do even better next. Toby Robson has the details.
Today's Daimler-Benz represents the vivid contrast between the German air and space scene today and the shape of the industry just a couple of decades ago. Then, a varied mixture of different suppliers and factories produced good quality aerospace products, but nearly always at a loss. State subsidies were commonplace. Today, though, there's been a revolution in Germany's air and space industry, and nowhere is this seen so clearly as in the products and the performance of Daimler-Benz Aerospace. Germany's biggest aviation supplier is also one of the main industrial organisations in Europe, and it's used its strength to good effect. Revenue in the first half of this year is up to 7.6 billion Deutschmarks, or $4 billion. And incoming orders reached more than 13 billion Deutschmarks, more than double the figure for this time last year. Strong sales at Airbus, in which the company is a partner, provided much of the boost. But sales of military air and space equipment are also flying high. All Daimler-Benz's operating divisions report double-digit growth rates so far this year. And the forecast is profits will continue to accelerate for the rest of this year and beyond. Toby Robson, Wingspan Air and Space News.
And finally, flight trials are underway at Edwards Air Force Base in California in an effort to give the Rockwell B-1B bomber more operational flexibility. The B-1B Lancer is a bomber with a difference. It can change the angle of sweep of its wings, giving it the ability to cruise at a wide range of speeds during operations. It can loiter, and then it can dash. And now a flight test program is looking at a way to make those swinging wings even more efficient. The aim is to clear the Lancer to fly at a wing sweep of 45 degrees. That's because 45 degrees is a useful midpoint between the 4 different wing sweeps the Lancer's cleared to use at present. 2 of these positions are far swept back, while the other 2 are well forward. Engineers have worked out that if the bomber is cleared to fly with its wings at this intermediate 45-degree angle, it'll fly more efficiently. It could comfortably keep pace with the sort of airspeeds that strike aircraft in the US Air Force and other NATO nations maintain on missions. The flight test program at Edwards hopes to give the B-1B early approval for flying the 45-degree wing position in service at a full range of airspeeds nearly up to the speed of sound. And those are the stories for today. From Wingspan, Air and Space News, goodbye.